Hi everyone, in today's video I will build this gaming PC, perfect for 1440p and 1080p gaming. I've selected well-balanced parts that work together without bottlenecks. Let's start with the motherboard,
which is from HP Z240 workstation.
By default, this motherboard is not suitable for mounting in different cases, but with slight modification, of course everything is possible. For example, the USB 3 port, in order to work in any other computer case, needs two of the pins to be shorted. Here's how I did it. The same applies to the USB port as well. I found all of the modifications online and I tested the entire configuration before assembling it. Everything works flawlessly. Next, I will put two sticks of 16GB DDR4 RAM clocked at 2400 MHz, which isn't very flashy but will do the job. And for CPU, I'm putting the most powerful one available for this motherboard, which is the i7-7700K. This is a quad-core 8-thread processor with a base frequency of 4.20 GHz and max turbo frequency of 4.50 GHz. Despite being from 2017, it still performs well and it's used by many gamers. This is the CPU cooler I chose. It's JANSBO CR100V2. I am very satisfied with it. It's a beautiful cooler with a 120mm fan featuring ARGB mirror effect. It has ARGB 3-pin and WPM 4-pin connectors, and both cables can be daisy chained. The cooler comes with all the necessary brackets and screws. Practically, it doesn't matter what motherboard you have. It can be put on all AMDs and Intel sockets. And this is the final look of the motherboard before it goes into the case. For the case, I found an excellent deal. This is a LANCOOL 205M Mesh Black. The case is brand new, but the person I bought it from couldn't complete his project, so it remained unused. I got it at the half price with delivery. The only downside is that this case doesn't come with the rear fan and ARGB hub, so I had to purchase this separately. Now it's time to install IO shield. But guess what? Of course this motherboard doesn't have one, so I had to make one out of plastic. I know it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but it's definitely much better than having none. To my great surprise, mounting the motherboard was seamless. This is a standard MITX motherboard, so all the screws fit perfectly. For storage I choose King Spec 512GB NVMe M.2 SSD Gen 3. Unfortunately, I had to make a slight modification here. The SSD slot is reversed and the SSD needs to be secured with the bolt outside of the motherboard. But this isn't so difficult at all. I just drill a hole in the case and then I put one standoff and one spacer and ta-da! Just like that, we have a place where to secure our SSD. For this build, I will use the original power supply from the HP Z240, which is the 450 watts Platinum. I know the recommended wattage for the GTX 1070 is 500 watts, but the 450 watts Platinum power supply is highly efficient and more than sufficient. I did a simple calculation of the system's power consumption at full load. The maximum consumption on GTX 1070 is 170 watts. On i7-7700K is 120 watts. On the motherboard is 40 watts, the RAM is around 15 watts, SSD 5 watts. The fans are between 10 and 12 watts. Additional peripherals like mouse and keyboards are around 10 watts. Total consumption of the system is 372 watts, which leave us with about 70 watts for safe system use. The GPU is Asus RX Gaming GTX 1070. I found this card at a good price from an owner who took good care of it. When I got it, the GPU was perfectly clean and with replaced thermal paste. But of course I replaced it again. I believe that this GPU will pair well with the i7-7700K. Time to peel off the protective film. Let's power the graphic card. Connect HDMI cable for monitor. Power cable. And finally the power button. Great! All the flares are spinning and lighting up. And we have a posting as well. Congratulations to me. Well done, well done. And of course it says there is no operating system, which is absolutely expected. Off camera I did some cable management. And it's time to close the PC and move on to the software part of the video. But before that, let's take another look. Honestly, I like it. It looks fantastic. Not bad at all. For benchmarking, I'll demonstrate only Fortnite Zombie City. At 1440p, with epic settings, it gave me 40 FPS, which I think it's good result for this GPU and CPU. However, at high settings in the same resolution, the game came to life. Here it gave me an average of 75 FPS and it feels absolutely playable. And of course, at mid settings it gave me even higher score of 130 FPS average. If you like what I've done so far, please subscribe to the channel. This will help me a lot. Thank you, and until the next time. Bye bye.